Have you ever wondered what it takes to catch one of the most prized fish in the world while ensuring the future of its species? Salmon fishing isn't just about casting a line, it's about understanding nature, mastering age-old techniques, and battling challenges that could threaten the entire ecosystem. Stick with us to uncover how salmon fishing has evolved from ancient rituals to a high-tech industry that fights for survival in a changing world. Have you ever wondered what makes catching one of the world's most precious fish so special, while ensuring the survival of the species? This baiting question serves to immediately trigger curiosity at the very start. The viewer becomes not only intrigued by the salmon but also curious about why this fish is considered so valuable and what the connection is between its journey and its survival. This question creates ambiguity, forcing the audience to continue watching to discover the answer, thus keeping them hooked. Furthermore, words like precious and survival immediately highlight the importance and urgency of the subject, making it something the viewer feels they cannot miss. They swim thousands of miles, crossing tumultuous seas and unpredictable currents. This powerful imagery not only paints a vivid picture but also helps the viewer visualize the vastness and difficulty of the salmon's journey. This sentence makes the viewer feel that the journey is not a simple trip but one filled with challenges, making them more invested in how the salmon manages to overcome these hardships. Words like tumultuous seas and unpredictable currents evoke a sense of instability and challenge, making the salmon's journey seem even more remarkable. This builds curiosity about how the fish survive and why this journey is so extraordinary, prompting the viewer to continue watching. This miraculous journey is not just a survival story, it's nature's miracle. Calling the journey a miracle of nature is a highly effective way to infuse mysticism into the story. This phrase makes the salmon's journey seem not just like a natural event but something magical and hard to explain. It sparks the viewer's curiosity about why this journey is described as miraculous, encouraging them to continue watching for more details. The mystical element also causes the viewer to feel that they are about to uncover something beyond just a survival story. This is something extraordinary, making them eager to learn more. It's a race against time. The urgency emphasized by this phrase doesn't just describe the salmon's life as a fight for survival, but also creates empathy in the viewer. Words like race against time convey a sense of urgency, making the viewer feel that the salmon are not just swimming, they are struggling to survive. This draws the viewer in emotionally, as they become more invested in the fate of the salmon. This empathy connects the viewer with the fish, making them more curious about how the salmon overcome these challenges. When the viewer feels emotionally attached, they are more likely to stay engaged and want to learn more about their journey. Now, salmon fishing isn't as simple as dropping a hook in the water. It's a delicate dance between tradition and technology. From hand nets and wooden traps passed down through generations to cutting-edge sonar technology that tracks fish schools beneath the waves, the techniques used today are a far cry from what our ancestors used. But here's the kicker, the stakes are high. Fishermen today must not only track where the fish are but also when they're ready to spawn. It's a race against time, and only the most skilled can get it right without damaging the precious fish populations. Did you know that every year, millions of salmon are caught around the globe, but many of these fisheries are on the brink of collapse? Overfishing, pollution, climate change, these threats are real. That's why sustainability is now the golden rule. Countries around the world have set strict guidelines to protect wild salmon. They've implemented catch limits, banned fishing during spawning seasons, and even established sanctuaries to help populations recover. It's not just about catching the fish, it's about protecting their future. Imagine a fishing net that knows the size of each fish before you even pull it up. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But in reality, smart nets are already sorting fish by size, releasing smaller, younger fish back into the wild to help them grow. And that's just the beginning. From satellite tracking to AI-powered fishing boats, technology is leading the charge for more efficient, and responsible, salmon fishing. And here's where it gets even more interesting, blockchain technology is helping ensure that every salmon you eat is traceable, so you can be sure you're getting the best, ethically sourced fish. But even with all this technology, the battle isn't over. Water pollution is one of the biggest issues facing salmon, directly affecting their habitat and reproductive capabilities. Pollutants such as chemicals, heavy metals, and industrial waste can destroy the natural environments where salmon live, making it difficult for them to grow, develop, or reproduce properly. The impact of pollution is extremely harmful to aquatic ecosystems. For example, when rivers and freshwater sources are polluted, salmon can no longer thrive in these environments, or if they do survive, they will be weakened, more prone to disease, and less capable of reproducing. Waste disposal regulations and pollution control measures are still insufficient in many areas, leading to severe water pollution. Additionally, population growth and industrialization increase pollution levels, creating a vicious cycle that is difficult to break. Climate change causes fluctuations in water temperature, pH levels, and rainfall, which disrupt the spawning cycles of salmon. Salmon need cold, clean waters to grow, but rising water temperatures due to climate change can reduce their ability to reproduce. Additionally, changing river levels also affect their migration patterns. Rising water temperatures impair salmon reproduction and growth. As the water becomes warmer, salmon's breeding capabilities decline, resulting in a reduced supply of wild salmon and impacting the fishing industry and food sources. Climate change models cannot yet accurately predict the trends and degree of impact on salmon populations in different regions, making it difficult to respond and protect the species effectively. Hydroelectric projects and dam construction are major barriers to salmon migration. Salmon need to migrate from the sea to rivers to spawn, but dams obstruct their natural migration routes. This not only interrupts their life cycle but also impacts their reproductive abilities, leading to a decline in wild salmon populations. Loss of habitat due to dam construction also affects the food sources and other species that rely on the river environment, disrupting the entire ecosystem that salmon are part of. While solutions like fish ladders or migration routes have been proposed, their actual effectiveness is still insufficient to maintain stable wild salmon populations. Hydroelectric projects continue to grow without adequate solutions in place. Overfishing remains one of the biggest challenges for salmon. As wild salmon numbers decrease due to factors such as pollution, climate change, and other environmental issues, excessive extraction becomes even more harmful. This not only affects salmon populations but also diminishes their reproductive capacity. The fishing industry has yet to strike the right balance between harvesting fish to meet demand and preserving the number of salmon in the wild. Regulations on catch limits are not strict enough, and enforcement is lacking in some areas. Stricter policies and regulations are needed to control salmon fishing, including catch limits and seasonal bans on fishing during spawning periods. However, enforcing these regulations is difficult due to competition from the resource extraction industries. In many indigenous communities around the world, salmon fishing is a sacred tradition. For the Inuit people of North America, salmon isn't just food, it's a lifeline and a symbol of respect for nature. Every year, they celebrate the salmon's return with ceremonies that honor the fish and the rivers. These aren't just fishing trips, they're a spiritual journey, a reminder that humanity and nature are intertwined. As we face the modern challenges of overfishing and habitat loss, it's these ancient values that guide us toward solutions. The future of salmon fishing is on the line. But there's hope. Sustainability isn't just a buzzword, it's a movement. From responsible fishing practices to ecotourism models that let visitors experience salmon fishing firsthand, the future is looking brighter. Together, we can protect these incredible fish for future generations, ensuring that the wild salmon's journey continues. The question is, are we ready to take action before it's too late? But here's the question that has everyone wondering: can we save the wild salmon before it's too late? These incredible creatures have battled through centuries of natural challenges, but today, they face unprecedented threats. Pollution, climate change, and overfishing are pushing them to the brink of extinction. The truth is, the fate of the salmon is intertwined with the health of our environment, and the clock is ticking. However, there's hope. The power to change this story is in our hands. From small actions we can take every day, to larger movements and sustainable practices, every step counts. In the next few minutes, you'll learn about the innovative solutions being used to protect the salmon, and how you can be a part of this critical mission. The battle to save this precious species has just begun, and it's a fight we can still win, together. Stay with us, because the future of salmon, and the future of our ecosystems, depends on what happens next.